Well, good afternoon, and thank you so much for being here. And joining me today are our City Council President, Sherry Leitner, our Council Member and Budget Chairman, Todd Gloria, Council Member representing Skyline and Southeastern San Diego, the great neighborhood, yes. Council Member Myrtle Cole, City Council Member Chris Cate, our Chief Financial Officer, Mary Lewis, our Police Chief, Shelley Zimmerman, our Fire Chief, Javier Maynard, and of course, many of our dedicated city parks employees, and families and neighbors from the great community of Skyline. We are really excited to be here today to unveil this budget because we live in a city of opportunity. And I said at my State of the City address back in January that all of us, each and every one of us, are collectively writing San Diego's comeback story. And today, I'm proud to join my fellow San Diegans to release the next chapter of that story. Today, of course, we release the 2016 proposed budget. And this budget is one San Diego in action. San Diegans will see more street repairs, better parks, more equality in neighborhood services. So no matter where you live in San Diego, your neighborhood is getting better. And that's what today is all about. The budget invests in programs that give more San Diegans in more communities the opportunity to succeed. It expands and enhances services that matter to San Diego's families. And it follows up on last year's budget by continuing to restore cuts that occurred during the recession. It's balanced. It's financially responsible budget that builds upon my commitment to bring the savings from fiscal reforms right back here into our neighborhoods. We're here in Skyline today, and like communities across our great city, we all know that families and parents want the best for their children. Families want safe neighborhoods, and all people of all ages want and deserve the opportunity to succeed. But yet here in Skyline, it takes too long for a firefighter to arrive when there's an emergency. The park gets too dark at night, inviting crime and safety challenges. And the playground behind us has seen better days. But because San Diego is getting back on track, and this budget is an opportunity to ensure that all communities are sharing in our turnaround. We want to close the gap so that neighborhoods in the south are successful as every neighborhood in the north, and all neighborhoods are successful together. And we want to ensure that our communities are benefiting from the reforms that all of us have championed. Reforms that have brought fiscal stability back to San Diego. And if approved by the City Council, families in Skyline will see new lighting in the park to keep our community safe for night. They will hear the sirens of firefighters that are arriving faster with help. They will feel the peace of mind when their children are using new equipment that is going to be installed right here at this playground. These are real improvements that you can see, you can hear, you can feel. And that's what this budget is all about. So what else can San Diegans expect when this budget is adopted? Significantly expanded hours at the largest community rec centers across the entire city. Park and playground improvements at dozens of locations and in every city council district. Smoother sidewalks and better lit neighborhoods. More police officers protecting our communities. Improved fire and emergency response times, and expansion of our successful after-school program. More internships and career opportunities for our young people. A tripling of internet speeds at every single branch library. More code enforcement officers to protect against slumlords and keeping all communities clean and safe. And many new technology enhancements for government transparency. And this is the first step to make sure that we are moving forward on our plan to repair 1,000 miles of streets. This budget that we are releasing today will repair more than 300 miles of roads, double the amount that was repaired annually when I first took office. San Diego streets are going to get a whole lot smoother. And these increased services are possible because all of us have continued to be fiscally responsible and follow voter-approved reforms that have been championed and have been supported. It's also possible because we are bringing San Diego's economy back. Our city is open for business, and we are seeing across-the-board gains in property tax, sales tax, and tourism tax and franchise fees. San Diego's economy is showing solid growth, and this budget will ensure San Diego's neighborhoods share in that wealth. When I ran for mayor, I promised to dedicate half of new revenue growth to repair our aging infrastructure in our neighborhoods. And that's exactly what we did last year. It's exactly what we're doing this year. San Diego will see an extra $41 million for infrastructure and neighborhood repair efforts. And there's a lot of good news in this budget, but make no mistake, we're not done yet. We have major infrastructure challenges. And that's why I've launched my effort to repair the city's repair program. And as I've said, there are literally hundreds of projects on the books, but they're not prioritized based upon real-world needs. And there are tens of millions of dollars that have been languishing in accounts for projects that are years away from being built. We're going to change that. The infrastructure reform package that I announced last month focuses on increasing efficiency, reducing bureaucracy, and providing better financial oversight. That means projects and neighborhoods will get done faster, and taxpayer dollars will be spent more efficiently. We are not done yet, but together, all of us are making amazing gains to bring San Diego back. And I strongly believe that there has never been so much promise for our future. I believed it when our city was facing very difficult times. I believe it when I ran for mayor. And as we enter San Diego's bright future, I believe it even more today. Because behind me, we have representatives of our city council that are working together, doing extraordinary work. The work that we've done on our budget over the years, as our budget chairman, Mr. Gloria, can attest, has not been easy, but it's put our city in a remarkable position for success for the future. I want to thank all my colleagues for their continued hard work. I'm looking forward to their input on this budget as we move ahead during the coming weeks and months. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to our City Council President first, Council President Sherry Leitner.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Faulconer. Based on my briefing with the Mayor's office, I'm encouraged by next year's proposed budget. After years of sacrifices on the part of our residents, communities, and city staff, it's encouraging to see a budget that continues to provide essential services such as public safety and infrastructure, and restores recreation center and library hours, as well as other city programs. I appreciate the Mayor's efforts to incorporate the major priorities and requests made by each council district and multiple communities. I am especially excited about the focus on public safety, including the addition of fire and police academies, police compensation and equipment needs, as well as the addition of fire stations and fast response squads, including one in South University City. I appreciate the emphasis on infrastructure needs such as streetlights, sidewalks, tree maintenance, brush management, code compliance, and graffiti abatement. These investments improve our neighborhoods and quality of life. I'm pleased about the emphasis on restored and expanded recreation center hours, teen programs, after-school programs at the local libraries, and Connect to Careers, which connects youth with meaningful careers. All these programs benefit our local families. With regards to technology and open government, I'm looking forward to the launch of the city's Open Data Initiative, improving the city's website, and implementing the customer service-oriented 311 program. I'd like to thank my fellow colleagues and all the residents who have contacted the city to communicate their priorities. I would encourage you to do so. Now I'll turn it over to Councilmember Gloria, who will talk about the upcoming budget process. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Leitner, and thank you, Mayor. I am here today as the chair of the City Council's Budget and Finance Committee, or Budget and Government Efficiency Committee, it's a new name, to explain the process going forward. You know, the mayor has proposed a budget which, thanks to an improving economy, we are in a position to say that we are restoring services. And I want to thank the city employees who are with us here this afternoon for their sacrifices and patience while we got the city back on track. And I want to thank the neighborhood residents who are also here today for their patience while we suffered through the Great Recession and implemented the changes necessary to balance the city's budget and put us in a position where we are today, where we're able to restore services, I think, in a meaningful way. As the mayor mentioned, there are a number of new proposals and initiatives in the budget. The City Council will exercise its responsibilities as an oversight and legislative branch after the mayor presents the budget formally to the City Council in the coming days. And then we'll start a budget review committee process, which will kick off on May 4th, starting with the department budgets for the police and fire rescue departments. This is an opportunity for members of the public to engage directly with the City Council and let their voices be heard. I would also encourage my council colleagues to take direct input from the communities, and I'd encourage any San Diegan who has an interest or concern about the budget to contact their council member directly and share that with them. The budget review process is a very intense one. It lasts a week of all-day-long hearings on every single department in the city. We'll go through it with a fine-tooth comb, and we'll make sure that the neighborhood's voice is heard in the budget. The mayor has got us off to a great start. I'm particularly excited about the restorations and expansions in the Park and Recreation Department. Over the last number of years, the City Council has done its part to make sure we increase library hours. We have to do that now for our rec centers because we know that they're so important in communities, and particularly for making sure our young people stay occupied during critical hours of the day. Lastly, I think that the council will be interested in making sure that we tackle what I think is the single biggest issue facing our city, which is our neighborhood infrastructure. The council, with the mayor and others, have worked hard on pension reform, such to the point that this will be our 11th year in a row of paying our pension bill in full and on time. Now it's important that we change the focus of the City Council, maintain that discipline, while at the same time tackling what I think is the biggest problem, which is the condition of our roads, our sidewalks, our public facilities. We know that the proposal is a strong one, but we hope to improve on it. And I just have to say this because I have some of my Normal Heights residents who are here. Ward Canyon Park, we will work hard on making sure that expansion is addressed somehow in the budget. But with that said, I encourage members of the public to participate meaningfully in the budget review committee process. Contact your council member, let your voice be heard, make sure that this improving economy accrues to the benefit of all the council districts and all the neighborhoods. Thank you very much.
Well done. Thank you, Councilmember Gloria. And I would add, as Councilmember just said, that the budget process is a very intense one. And I'm very thankful, Todd, for your continued leadership on financial issues, your leadership to making sure that when this budget gets before the council, that we have all of that input. And indeed, as we move and make some changes, because we always do, that it even accrues to the significant benefit more of our neighborhoods. And I know we can do that. Next up, somebody who needs no introduction, of course, is our council member for District 4, Councilmember Myrtle Cole.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. You know, I stand here today with Mayor Faulconer and my council colleagues to announce good budget news for our city, and in particular, my district. In my 2016 budget priorities memo, I laid out what we need to invest now in our historically underserved communities. My budget priorities memo laid out community-oriented policing needs, the need for fire stations in my district, as well as the need for park upgrades. I know that we need to address our aging and crumbling infrastructure. As a council member for this neighborhood, I want to highlight a few things in this budget that will help our community. Continuing the Encanto Rapid Response Squad, which has reduced emergency response times in the Encanto community. Funding to staff the new Skyline Hills Fire Station. You know, if you're having an emergency, you don't want to wait unnecessarily for aid from our first responders. Code enforcement officers to close illegal marijuana clinics that have been observed catering to our youth, like the one that was closed recently, only 1 block from where we are standing today. As the mayor mentioned, repairs to previously neglected parks, like the one here at Skyline Hills Community Park. You know, I appreciate the mayor's support and responsiveness to my priorities. Park and recreation centers like this one will have extended hours of operation. We need our youth to have a safe place to enjoy after-school activities. In addition, we're making progress towards getting our much-needed sidewalks on Market Street. Lastly, this budget funds the new agreement with the Police Officers Association, helping to solve the recruitment and retention crisis. I know firsthand the importance of recruiting and retaining diverse and talented police officers. As I've stated before, when I initially became a police officer, it was because of the recruitment effort that focused on creating diversity in the Tucson Police Department. This proposed budget will help with revitalizing our neighborhoods. I know that we have a lot of work to do to ensure that our neighborhoods are safe and livable. Every community deserves to have the basic necessities to help the residents not just merely survive, but to thrive. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Councilmember. Next up is Councilmember Chris Cate, who's brought a real sense of energy to his duties since he's been elected, and we're glad that he joins us as well. Councilmember. Sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And as the newest council member, excited to be on the council at this time, and I appreciate the work of our mayor and my council colleagues for their past work and diligence in making sure that we had balanced budgets moving forward and that we have the opportunity to reinvest in our neighborhoods. And I share in their vision for safer and revitalized neighborhoods. I'm proud of the positive position San Diego's economy is in and welcome the opportunity to invest in our core neighborhood services. It's invigorating to see the city's devotion to core neighborhood services that truly help all San Diegans. And I'm pleased that public safety is a focal point in this budget, and the dollars that we are providing are a great first step in addressing our police recruitment and retention crisis, as well as making sure that we have proper response times from our fire departments. This budget is a prominent investment in the communities and residents that help make San Diego a great place to live, work, and play. Residents will have access to recreation centers with expanded hours and enjoy additional park improvements they have so long been yearning for. Lastly, I'd like to applaud the mayor for his commitment to bolstering our city services and infrastructure. This year's budget will approve 300 miles of streets, well on our way to our commitment of 1,000 over the next 5 years. I look forward to holding our own public forum in District 6 and hearing from residents of my council district on what their ideas are to making sure that this budget truly serves all residents in San Diego. Thank you very much. I look forward to discussions ahead.
Thank you, Councilmember. As I think many of you know, Mary Lewis, our CFO, will be giving a more detailed presentation in the rec center right behind us for everybody that's invited to do that. But before she gives that presentation, she will give some brief overview. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon. We have a $3.2 billion balanced budget. Of that, the general fund makes up about $1.3 billion, and that's really what we've been talking about, the neighborhood services that are embedded in this budget. There are continued savings from fiscal reforms in the budget. It restores and enhances core services, focusing on the following areas: repairing streets and investing in infrastructure, an economically prosperous city with opportunity in every community, safe and livable neighborhoods, excellent customer service, and open government. This budget fully funds the pension payment, the annual pension payment the city makes on time, in full, in the past 10 years, 11 years coming up. It funds non-pensionable compensation increases. We are embarking on year 3 of a 5-year freeze on pensionable salaries. And it maintains targets for our general fund reserves and risk management reserves. A few words about the revenues that support the budget. As the economy recovered out of the recession, the city's general fund revenue grew at a rate that was higher and faster than the historical average. Moderate revenue growth is where we are now, and that's projected to continue projected to continue and has been incorporated in the fiscal year 2016 proposed budget, but at a slower pace than what we had experienced during the recovery period following the recession. This revenue growth includes growth in all 4 of the city's major revenue general fund categories: Property tax, at this point, we're proposing and projecting a 4.25% increase. Sales tax at 4%. Transient occupancy tax or tourism tax at 5.5%. And franchise fees, primary franchise fee payer, SDG&E at 2%. So as a result of the positive continuing expenditure trends and revenue trends, the fiscal 16 proposed budget includes a number of service enhancements for the residents of San Diego. These investments support the goals of the city to provide high-quality public service, work in partnership with all of our communities to achieve safe and livable neighborhoods, and create and sustain a resilient and economically prosperous city. The city's fiscal health is a result of strong financial management practices, well-established long-term financial planning, and a comprehensive plan to address both pension and retiree health care costs. San Diego has favorable credit ratings, and in assigning these ratings to the city, the rating agencies have noted the city's solid financial operations resulting from our ongoing commitment to conservative fiscal management practices, the building and preservation of the general fund balance and reserves, strong financial disclosure practices, and pension and retiree health care reform as key drivers to the city's favorable credit ratings. These solid financial practices are embedded in this budget. A few words finally on reforms. As a result of the 5-year labor agreements entered into in fiscal 2012 with our 5 recognized employee organizations, the fiscal year 16 budget benefits from savings from a continued pensionable pay freeze. These important agreements bring stability to the cost of labor, which is important for future budgets and resource allocation. The proposed budget includes efficiency savings, and the mayor has asked all city departments to continue to provide innovative ideas for cost reductions and efficiencies, encouraging a culture of continuous improvement and open communication. This commitment to fiscal stability and good financial management continues to support a healthy financial future.
Thank you, Mary. I want to thank all of my colleagues, our council president, our budget chairman, Mr. Gloria, and our council members for all of their work. As I've said before, this is a united effort as we continue to move our city forward, and I'm grateful for all of their hard work, the hard work they're going to be doing over the weeks and months ahead on this budget. Of course, all of our city team, some of whom are here behind us, and to a lot of our residents in the neighborhoods today who are going to benefit in some of these improvements and changes.